Welcome to the complete Boomi Bootcamp 2026, Episode 9, Summary and REST Client. In this video we have the following agenda: summary of the latest episodes 1 to 8, find changes, program command, REST client, and the next steps. Summary of the latest episodes. Hi, this is Dr. Kuhn. In this episode, I would like to summarize the last 8 episodes to give you an overview over the topics we have covered so far. The complete Boomi Bootcamp 2026 course is designed to enable you to work with the Boomi solution and develop solutions independently. I want to make this clear. This video course is free of marketing and sales topics. There are no colorful, fancy animations, no overloaded PowerPoint slides, no annoying background music, and no exaggerated advertising for this product. This course is explicitly designed for IT professionals, developers, integration engineers who want to work with Boomi or learn about Boomi. In this course, I want to show you what Boomi looks like in the real world. Nothing is sugar-coated here, just pure Boomi. When developing solutions or processes, mistakes happen. Problems arise. In Boomi, but also outside of Boomi. For example, in target systems, for example, databases or API services. These things are shown in my videos, and of course the corresponding solutions are also shown. Enough talk. Let's start with the summary. To achieve the best learning results, I recommended that you get a Boomi free trial. You can then log into Boomi with your business email address and password. Boomi offers various services. In this course, however, we will focus on the integration service. It is important to me to show you how to organize your work in Boomi. In practice, the following structure has proven to be useful: shared components, integration test, integration prod, sandbox, and archive. Shared components stores everything that can be used by multiple user processes or integrations, such as connectors or processes. This gives you a place where you can find all shared components. You must manually move the components to the shared components folder. If you don't, there's a risk that these components will end up scattered all over the place in various subfolders. This will eventually become confusing. There's also a risk that components will be accidentally created twice. You can search for specific components using the filter. Here, for example, we will filter for the connections. So here you can see that we have some connectors in our shared components folder, but also you can see that we have connections in the demo folder or its subfolders. Let's clear the filters and check the map. Apply. Here you can see that we have some maps in the demo folder, but no maps in the shared components folder. I think you now have an idea why it is a good idea to store the components in the shared components folder. The integration test folder is intended for all integrations that are in the development or testing phase. Here, for example, we have some SAP related integration, plenty one. We have EDI customers that need to be onboarded. The integration prod folder is intended for all integrations that are in productive operation. Also here we have some suppliers that are already onboarded. We did the integration, tested them successfully, and so we moved all the processes and components here. Of course, plenty one is already been integrated, and also the SAP SuccessFactors as an example. The sandbox folder is intended for personal testing. If you want to try something out temporarily that is not necessarily related to a specific project or integration. That is the folder that we used all the time to demonstrate how Boomi works. We created various processes, and there we used the sandbox. The last folder, archive, is intended for processes or components that are no longer in use but should be kept for safety reasons. We took a look at the process canvas. This is the heart of Boomi from a developer's perspective or view. You will spend most of your time here developing processes. The process canvas is the central location in Boomi where you can use Boomi steps via a graphical interface. Using drag and drop, steps are elements that, when combined in the right way, lead to desired solution. You basically have a choice between three types of steps: the connect steps, the execute steps, and the logic steps. Connect offers you approximately, it's about 280 out-of-the-box steps. Execute offers you 13 steps, and logic offers you 10 steps. The key is to use the individual steps in the correct order and in a meaningful way in the process canvas. We have created many processes so far. The demo process, for example, we are looking at. Then, for example, the demo sub-process and many other processes, each of which demonstrated specific steps. For example, the business rules, the disk V2 connector, the document cache, SFTP connector, and the try-catch. It was important to me that you saw the individual steps. You know? The message step, the data process step, the cleans step, the decision step, for example, and many, many more, so that that you got a feeling for how to work with these steps, yeah? And also the dependencies between the steps. For example, if we're looking at the demo subprocess, yeah, you need the return documents steps, for example, so that here you can return data to the calling process. Yeah, without this step, you just cannot, or the process call step cannot call another step or another process. Over the last 8 episodes, we have laid a solid foundation for implementing real-world projects. Yeah? In this episode, I will introduce you to a few more steps, and then starting with episode 10, we will work on a real-world project as realistic as possible. Where possible, we will work with real resources. Yeah? For example, databases, SFTP servers, but it will be difficult with, for example, with ERP systems, web shops or API services, or similarly large systems. I will try to simulate these systems on a case-by-case basis. Here is the overview over all the steps we covered so far. So in Connect, we have Database v2, Microsoft Azure SQL Database, SFTP, the legacy one, Disk v2, the disk legacy, execute, map, set properties, message, notify, process call, process route, data process, add to cache, retrieve from cache, remove from cache. And logic steps, branch, route, cleans, decision, exception, stop, return documents, flow control, business rules, and try catch. Find changes. To demonstrate the find changes step, I would like to open a certain process. Let me think of it. Which process can we use? Find changes. I think I would go with the demo business rules process. So here we have our sample invoices. I think if I remember correctly, we have 15 records, invoice records here. Yeah, 15. And here we have also a split documents step, so that we can generate 15 invoice documents with this message. Here we create our find changes step, and here you can see that we have 3 different branches. I will add stop step at the end of each branch. We have an add branch, an update branch, and a delete branch. Now we configure the find changes step, give it a name, demo find changes. Document type is XML. We select a profile here, invoice sample file, XML profile. Profile element definition for the primary column of each record if more than one key column is required, ensure that these columns are not subject to change, so records are routed successfully. Okay, that means that we have to select a key column so that this find changes step can identify the field that will be used to detect the change. Yeah? So I think we will go for the invoice number. That's our unique field, because each invoice number should be unique. So we will take this one, invoice number. Yeah. And just click OK. And then we will have a test. Select the DataCoon test environment. And let's see what's happening. So the add branch is activated. Let's see, step source data. Oh, that result surprises me. It's just the first invoice. Maybe we should have a look at the XML profile. No? I think maybe this is a misconfiguration, so that only the first invoice, the first XML node is read by the demo find changes step. So let's have a look at the profile. Records. Oh, I see. So the max occurrence for this record is set to 1. Yeah? So I think that is the reason why this find changes step cannot read more than one node, one invoice. So we set it to unbounded, and also for the looping option, we will set up occurrence so that all occurrences are written. It's okay. Save, test again. So my expectation is that, yeah, it's the update branch is activated, and we have, it seems we have all nodes here. Why is the update branch activated? Because we do have changes. We have additional 14 branches, including the first invoice. Now I repeat the test, and you can see none of the branches are activated. That's because there is no change, because we just provided the same document to the demo find changes step here. So it's the same, there are no changes. Next, I would like to create another sample invoice just to explore how this find changes step will behave. And my idea is that we have a single new record here. So we'll take our file here and remove all the records except for the first record. Like this. And I think I will modify the invoice number. I will fill in 17. That is a brand new invoice number. Yeah? So I will copy and paste it here in, so that we only have one invoice record. Invoice number 17. I will indicate this, I think, so I I know that is the single new record with invoice number 17. I will connect this app message here and just test it. So my expectation for now is that, because this is a change, that at least the add branch is activated. When I see also the delete branch is activated, we will have a look at this later in a few seconds. So this is the new record with invoice number 17. And what do we have here? Okay. These are all other 15 records. This means that they are deleted, or they will be deleted, because they are not part of the single new one record with invoice number 17. Okay, so obviously this is how it works. Now another test. Now I will insert or take multiple records, not all, just multiple one. I think I will go with here with 4. 4 records. Yeah, 4 records. 17, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm curious how the find changes step will react or behave. So we'll just copy the message and we'll paste in the new values, the 4 XML nodes, multiple new records. Okay, let's connect this for the test. Auto arrange, save it. Now we can test it. Okay, update. The update branch is activated. Let's have a look at the step source data. And we have all 4. Okay, that makes sense. Close document. Yeah. So we quickly tidy up the process. So split documents here. And see, this is how the find changes step works. So it compares the values from the previous run with the current run. Now, that's how it obviously works. Thanks for watching. Program command. So let's have a look at the program command. So one of the last steps we are looking at. So we create a new folder, demo program command. Here we will create a new process. No data, okay. Let's give it a name, demo program command. Let's create this program command. And as you can see, the default value is system command. Auto range. Now we configure this. Let's have a look. The program command step enables database and system level commands to be executed as part of the process flow. Type is system command, SQL statement, and stored procedure. I think we will start with the SQL statement. So let's select this Microsoft Azure SQL database connection, and here we can enter our script. Also we can add some variables, but first let's give it a name. Demo program command SQL statement. Here we have an option run once per execution, but I think for now we don't want to use this. So first select star from errors. Errors is a table that we previously created for demonstration. And I'm just curious what happens if we select data from this table. Is there any result we get from this program command? Just look the step source data. Is there something? No, blank. So we don't get any feedback from this program command step. So yeah, this is the errors table. And currently we have 4 entries or 4 rows. I wonder, maybe we just try another SQL statement. Maybe we can insert some values into this table. Insert into errors, and now we need a list of the fields. I'm just checking. I think we have 3 fields. Error underline date. Then we have the error underline message. And we have the process name. So now we fill in the values. I think we will have some values hard-coded. So it's the 17th of January this year. Then demo error message 1, and then as process name we will have demo program command. Semicolon. Just click here to check the fields. Okay, error date, yeah. Error message, process name, looks good. Now we will test this process. Hopefully we have some feedback. So like confirmation that this statement was executed successfully, but we don't have any message or feedback from this program command still. Yeah, but we have this additional row here, so the data could be inserted successfully. Oh, let's try, maybe we delete some rows. I think we had some multiple duplicate rows, so we delete them. We try to delete them. Delete from errors where error message equals, and now we can set up a variable here using the question mark, and as a static value I will use the demo error message. I think it was number 2, demo error message 2, but let's quickly check. DBO is, by the way, the default database schema. So this was also successful. See here the parameter 1, demo error message 2. This was still no feedback. But let's have a look at the database table. My expectation is that we could delete all the duplicate rows. Yeah, indeed. So that's good. I wish there was some feedback of this program command step. So let's copy and paste this step so we can set up the next type. That would be stored procedure. A stored procedure, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's like a batch file in the database world, yeah. So you can write down what you would like to have for activities. So I think I create a procedure here that would create a new table, and then I want like 5 rows to be filled in. Yeah. So here you just fill in the procedure name. Here let's check the procedure. View procedure, and here we have the procedure parameters. Obviously we don't have any procedure parameters, but then I would like to check the content of the procedure, the source. Here. So create procedure, DBO, create end file, fill sample table. Here I created the table. No, it's okay. Then I can connect this new program command step, auto arrange it. But I think there is something missing. Yeah, I wanted the procedure to create a table and fill in some values. I think I have to add another or add some code to the procedure so that there will be some rows filled in. Yeah. So just copy and paste it in, insert into, and then have then have 5 items that are inserted in this newly created table. So now I can save this procedure. Yes, please persist these changes and execute. Yeah, well, now I think it's okay. Yeah. Here you can see we have not yet the new table. It's okay. Let's execute this step. And we have an error caused by procedure create and fill sample table has no parameters and arguments were supplied. Yeah, but it's correct. I don't have any parameters. Why is this happening? Let's check the program command step. Oh, I see. I have still this variable here, and yeah, that doesn't make sense. I have to delete this variable. Okay. Now we save it, test it again, and I think this time the execution will be successful. Yeah. So procedure was executed. That means that if we look at the tables we have in the database, there should be a new table with 5 rows. So I quickly refresh the tables. Then you can see we have a new table. It's called sample table, view table, and then we have the 5 items, 5 rows here. So this program command step was also okay. Then we can test it again. Yeah. So I deleted the table and now I run the procedure again just to make sure. So here sample table is not there. Refresh the tables and voila, the sample table is there again with our 5 rows. So let's take a look at the third type. We can copy this step, paste it. Then we have the last type, the system command. I think the system command, this type is very powerful because the system commands enables you to execute many things on the target system. No? So like batch files, PowerShell, executables, I think, jar files you can execute. So virtually many many files that are supported by your operating system. Here, for example, I have a batch file, rename and move files. This is a batch file that is just looking into a folder, C demo inbound, and rename all files, starting with the Odoo. Yeah. Odoo is an ERP system, open source ERP system. And I want Odoo to be replaced by D365. That's another ERP system by Microsoft. And then I want to move the files to the demo outbound folder. So two different things. Here you can see the Odoo purchase order files here I have in the inbound folder, and I want them to be replaced by D365 and moved here to the demo outbound folder. So I will just execute this batch file. C demo scripts, rename, underline and underline, move underline files dot bat for batch file. Yeah, just try to execute this one. Important is that you choose the Datacoon Win01 atom or environment, because this is our Windows server. Choosing the other environment wouldn't make sense because it's not Windows based. So it seems to be successful. You see all the Odoo files were removed, and here we have the renamed XML files, and they were also moved to the outbound folder. So the batch file was executed successfully. Yeah, and that was the program command step. REST client. Now let's have a look at the REST client step. For this we will create a new folder, demo REST client. Copy that name, and of course we will create a new process that has the same name as the folder, no data. Give it a name here, demo REST client, save it. Then we can search for the REST client step, then create it here. Here we will create a stop step, and now we can configure this connector step. So display name, yeah, I think we will leave it blank for now. But we have a connection here that we have to create. That is the demo REST client connection. I prepared this base URL here, JSON placeholder .typeicode.com. Then we have nothing to configure further because it's a free and public REST API. Here now we can give a display name, get data. Action is get, and we now have to create a connector operation, get data, REST client connector operation. And for the path, the resource path that should be appended to the base URL to form the full URL path. You can override this property per document using the path dynamic operation property. That is very important information for later. This REST API has a post path. We can use this for later to get some posts. Now we can test it. Select environment. Now let's have a look at the result. So the file. Here we have some post. You see it consists of a user ID, title, and some body with some random text, lorem ipsum text. So it's user ID 1, 2, 3 I saw. Okay, so I will let's explore this connector step. Here we have the query parameters. The query parameters that should be appended to the full URL path. You can override these properties values. Okay, then I think let's just add a property here. Let's have the user ID as a key. And as a static value, let's go for 2. So we set up added a property. It should be now active. And my expectation now is that if we run the test, that we only get the post of user ID equals to 2. Let's have a look. Yeah, user ID 2. It's only the post from user ID equals 2. I'm curious about the dynamic properties. If you want, you specify profile in your connector operation. Some profile. But I think we don't have a profile yet. Dynamic operation properties are document level overrides you define values for and pass into the connector step. Okay. So what do we have here? Parse. Here's our keylist user ID type static. I think we first try the static one. And here I set up 4 as value. Yeah, here in the step we set up 2, but as a static value in the dynamic parameters we had 4. So my expectation now is that as a result we get all posts from user ID equals 4. That means that the dynamic parameter overrides the key that we set up in the step. So yeah, user ID is 4. All posts with user ID equals 4. So next step, I would like to create a message, XML message, to pass over a value per message. So I think I will create a variable for this. So let's quickly show you. This is the output from our get. So it contains all of the posts, but I extract just one post for the profile and for the message here, and set it to user ID equals to 1. And also the ID, I will set it to 1. But important is that user ID equals to 1. So here I will copy and paste the single message, and here give it a name, sample message equals, or user ID is equals 1. User ID equals 1, so we can see what is set up in the message. So dynamic operation properties, and we will set it up so that it uses a profile type. There should be an entry that we can select the profile element. Here it is, and it's the JSON profile. But here we can see that we don't have a corresponding profile for that. So let's quickly create this profile that relates to our sample message. Here, let's create this profile here, new component, and then we are looking for a JSON profile. Let's create, give it a name. Let's get data JSON profile. Now we import a profile using the single file I created before. So let's post sample file. This. So you see we have a user ID, title, body, everything in this profile, and we leave it as it is. So now we can set up the dynamic operation properties here. Let's go for the profile element. Choose the profile, get data JSON profile we just created before. And as an element, we will select the user ID. Yes, user ID. Okay. Then we will have a test. Just checking, user ID is 1. And so we should get all posts where user ID equals 1. Let's check the data. Yeah, user ID equals 1. Here still. Let's try user ID equals 7. Just to make sure that this works. It's okay. Save. Test. And you see here we don't need another mapping, yeah, because the sample message matches the JSON profile we created before, so there is no need to map anything. Let's take a look. Here you see user ID 7, all comments from user ID equals 7. So yeah, good. Next steps. Our agenda for episode 10 is Introduction to EDI, Trading Partner Management, Trading Partner, and AS2 Client. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.